Mike saw the sign, ignored it, and then injured himself right after. It's a brutal chest tear, but a great learning opportunity because no one is immune to injury. Believe it or not, there is one sign, a leading indicator, which will tell you if you're about to get injured. Understand it and you will never get hurt again. We're going to go play by play exactly how Mike tore his pec, because even though most of you won't tear a pec, you're going to mess up your hamstring, you're going to fuck up your shoulder or your elbow, and it will be because you didn't listen to the warning sign just like Mike. First, I'm going to explain what the sign is, but even after I show you, you're probably not going to listen. Why does no one care? Finally, I'm going to go over 2 real-life examples from my lifting career, one where I listened to this advice and one where I didn't and almost died.
Something here. So, those are torn fibers.
The Tren twins are exactly 2 days older than me and a million times stronger and more jacked than I am, but I'm not going to say anything in this video that they wouldn't already agree with. Understand this, your mind is really good at noticing when something isn't quite right. Maybe your first impression of someone is off, and then later on you find out they're a scumbag. In the physical realm, when something isn't quite right, the body will send off warning signs. Most of the time we either don't pay attention, or we do notice and just shrug it aside, continue the workout. Before you get injured, your body will almost always send you a sign, whether it's an acute injury that happens in the moment or an overuse injury that happens over time. Exhibit A.
My last bench session, my left pec got a little abused.
Exhibit B.
You got that shit. I'm using all tricep right now. I'm trying to change my feelings.
This is the exact warning I'm talking about. Mike's body is telling him something's wrong. If you think back to your past injuries, you'll realize there was almost always a warning sign beforehand. Pay attention to how you feel before, during, after the workout. Do you have any nagging soreness or tightness that doesn't feel quite right?
Got a little abused.
The worst injuries happen when we push through these things and fuck ourselves up. Maybe you have a small pain or tweak that isn't normal in your joints or tendons, enough to notice while you're lifting.
Trying to change my feelings.
If you have to consciously change your form to compensate for an odd pain that you don't usually have, alarm bells should be going off. Depending on how severe it feels, either lighten the load for the rest of that workout, skip that exercise or muscle group, or in the worst case, take some time off training it so that it can recover. This is what Mike should have done. 3 days was not enough to recover from maxing out. He should have gone lighter or skipped chest entirely, and this could have been prevented. And as you can see, he agrees, so it's not like I'm giving you some crazy advice. After you notice and act, you need to prevent the potential injury from surfacing again. In the case of the Tren twins, they will probably need to switch up the way they train. It's inevitable that something like this was going to happen if you're going to go heavy on bench every couple days and if you're not managing your recovery. Listening to your body will drastically decrease your chances of getting injured, but it doesn't go down to 0 because there will always be the chance of a rare freak injury. But luckily for us, that's extremely unlikely. Keep in mind, I don't consider this to be a rare freak accident because there was clearly 2 big warning signs beforehand. Please, please, please subscribe to Paolo if you liked the video.
Since I can remember as far back as yesterday, I have not done a rest day.
It's one thing to know you should be listening to your body. It's another thing to actually do it.
Boring. Boring.
If you would have told Mike this advice before he got injured, he would have been like, yeah, of course. But then in the moment, why didn't he listen? Why don't I listen? Why do many of us get these preventable injuries? It's because we love to train and we don't want to take it easy. We're too much on this end of the scale. But some of you might be the opposite. You might use this advice as an excuse not to push yourself in the gym. That would make you lazy. Oh, I'm a little bit too sore. I can't possibly do this workout right now. The mature lifter is one who stays in this middle zone. They know when it's time to go hard as fuck, and they know when it's time to reel it back. I fully understand the anxiety of missing a session and going easy when you really don't want to, but understand this. If you want to make big progress, individual sessions don't matter as much. Big progress is made when you string together lots of workouts, just like making a brick wall is made by stacking lots of bricks. If you end up putting no bricks, or even taking one away, it's better than knocking down the whole wall and being forced to rebuild it. Who the hell knows when Mike is going to get back to benching? It's going to be several months just to get back to doing the bench press, and another few months or years to get back to his peak strength. It's a damn shame. If he didn't get injured, all of that time could have been spent trying to improve his bench press, getting to 600 and beyond. The strongest lifters are those who can stay injury-free for a long time. What's the use of getting strong if you keep fucking up your body and making backwards progress? If you listen to your body, just be a little bit more conservative, you'll keep getting stronger and you'll reach a bigger result in the end. It's useful to have the Tren twins as an example of what not to do, but now I'll talk about some stupid shit in my life just to really bring home the point. I had a low back injury that set me back a lot. Because of lockdowns, I couldn't set another deadlift PR for 2 years. How the Tren twins feel about bench, that's how I feel about deadlift. I remember on that workout, I was trying to do 3 sets of 4 with 385. Throughout the first 2 sets, I started to have some pain, and it was absurdly hard. I'd been pushing myself like this for weeks on end. The warning bells were going off, but I ignored it. It's okay, I don't need to skip deadlifts, even though I'm dying pushing myself and I have pain. I need to finish this workout so I can get stronger, right? Wouldn't you know it, on the last set, I injured myself proper and was forced to take some time off. One thing I did do, albeit like a year later, was think to myself, why did I get injured in the first place? It's because I was too focused on progression at the expense of form, and not giving myself a chance to deload ever. In that period in 2019, I was always going heavier for months on end. On the flip side, here's a story of when I did listen to my body, and it resulted in me not getting injured. I recently told you guys that I'm making the push for a 3-plate bench press. To do that, I was benching 2 days a week, 5 sets each. Everything was going well, except I started to notice a lot of soreness in my pecs. Not just my pecs, but my pec tendon right here. And the soreness was overlapping workout to workout to the point where my pec tendons were always sore. I saw the warning sign, I took a step back and I realized this is a recipe for disaster. The first thing I did was skip one of my bench workouts, meaning I would have a full week, no chest work at all. But when I came back the following week, my pec tendons were still sore. It was crazy. So I ended up having to take an extended deload, 2 full weeks off of training chest, just to let it heal. Now that I'm back to benching, I don't want to repeat the same mistake again, so I made some changes. I think I had the pain because of some overuse from doing the same movement twice a week, and because I was doing too much volume. So now, on Mondays, I do regular bench, just like before, 3 sets, and on Fridays, I do close grip bench for another 3 sets. I'm happy to say the crazy soreness has not returned, and I'm back on the road to 3 plates.